another company that owns a bunch of other companies.
Of cable news TV today. Today in 2025, we have four megacorps
Can you
that
hear
control
that?
everything we see,
Yes.
hear, and read. Comcast NBC Universal became a media giant by starting as a cable provider and then buying up other companies. It bought NBC, one of the original broadcast TV networks, and then picked up Universal Pictures, a major movie studio, and then other cable channels like MSNBC and the USA Network. Comcast also launched the Peacock streaming platform and acquired other brands, including Sci-Fi, Bravo, Oxygen, E! Entertainment, CNBC, Golf Channel, Telemundo, and Universo, making it the largest company that offers cable television service, internet service, as well as providing you the entertainment content that you consume. Not to mention that they own the physical locations for Universal rides and resorts. So think about it. They not only own the content that you consume, they own the communication pipelines that are connected to your house so you can watch it.
So what did he just say? They also own the communication pipeline. Again, as I say, my internet went out as we were talking about this. It's kind of scary.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So there were a couple things, and then I was listening. I went, oh, then I wanted to listen to the rest of it. The one thing he was saying is we talked about this a little bit earlier, they control all the information. They control all the entertainment. They control the messaging completely. But again, we have the outliers with the independent film, right, which is good. And then we have independent media now from a news standpoint that is really good. And we have to rely more and more on that. And we just have to hope that they don't take that money path, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the critical part.
The other thing I wanted to share is it's not just about what we watch, it's also about what we read for people who do read. So these are a list of companies that are publishers, media publishers that have been purchased by billionaires. So we've got Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder, owns the Washington Post. John Henry owns the Boston Globe. He's a sports magnate. Glenn Taylor owns the Minnesota Star Tribune. Patrick Soon-Shiong owns Los Angeles Times. Sheldon Adelson owns the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Joe Mansueto owns Inc. and Fast Company. Lauren Powell Jobs owns The Atlantic. Mark Benioff, Time. Chatchaval Giaravanon owns Fortune. And finally, Mr. Elon Musk owns X Corp, formerly Twitter. So more rich and powerful people owning publishing and having the potential to control the narrative.
And there's a lot of crossover, right? So there, again, that crossover is happening. Amazon not only controls that, but controls our distribution of products for quite some time. And it started out as books. I don't know if people remember when Amazon started. It was an online bookstore.
It was Amazon. It was A to Z.
Yes.
Yes. I do remember that very well.
It was a bookstore. Now, hindsight, I wish I had bought stock back then.
Oh, we all.
Shit. But who knew? Evidently he did. But yeah, it's a lot of crossover. And the scary thing, everything we've been listening to, we keep seeing the same names coming up over and over and over again. And I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable with these, 10, 6, 10, whatever people owning everything. Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with it at all. Like I had a subscription to the Washington Post, and when Jeff Bezos decided that he wasn't going to let his staff endorse Kamala Harris for president, I was done. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with,
Right.
I can't trust this paper. This
Right.
this rich man who owns the paper has decided he's going to interfere with their operations and what the editorial team puts out.
Mhm.
I can't trust it. I'm not going to give my money to this. And I also am no longer giving my money to Amazon, which is hard because Amazon has its hands in everything. So I can only do so much, but I don't shop at Amazon anymore. But at a certain point, it's like, where do you draw the line? No company is like completely clean. No company is completely moral. So you kind of just have to draw the line where you can to protect yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. We can't boycott everything, except there is one coming up, right? I see it all over social media that they have a blackout coming up where they want everyone to boycott everything. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I'm not
that's
laughing
really
because I
hard.
don't think it's serious, but it's just like, what what are we supposed to do, really?
I don't know. What we're doing, talking to people, educating people, getting out there and protesting. But not to go off on a side note tangent, but I will because today's election day. And I'm so anxious to see the beginning. I know. And I did mine a couple weeks mail in. Love our mail in here in California. I'm anxious to see how many Democratic races we won. It's not a big election in that way, but I think it'll be important. And this whole SNAP thing is going to it is so hard because we do not want to see people go hungry at all. We don't.
No. Well, some of
But
us don't.
the more he does this, to me, this is political suicide for him. And it's like, I love that for them, but I don't want to see people hurt. So, I don't know, how do we rectify that? It's really hard. It's really hard, but I didn't want to go off on that topic. We can talk about that later. But it's all connected, right? The money.
Yeah, and I want to get into more about the influence that the rich and
Mm.
powerful can have over our content. So let's talk about Miss Bari Weiss. So this article from Mother Jones, another big reason to worry about Bari Weiss's tenure at CBS News. Bari Weiss was recently named as the chief of CBS News. She is replacing Bill Owens, who left on his own accord earlier this year because he said that his bosses were basically interfering with his ability to do his job because they had too many opinions, it sounds like. Bari Weiss has no television broadcast news experience. She seems to be an ideological and editorial choice by David Ellison, who we mentioned before, who was, again, the son of Larry Ellison, a Trump supporter. One of the things that she initially asked the 60 Minutes staff, according to Mother Jones, is why the country thinks that 60 Minutes is biased, which suggests that she accepts the right wing narrative about liberal media bias. And she seems to have an interest in focusing on opinion over reporting. She owns and founded the Free Press, which is a right leaning publication. So it's questionable why they hired her to lead their news division, because again, she does not have experience in broadcast news. Do they want to have her bring this right leaning influence to CBS News?
It would appear that way. I mean, why else do you hire somebody and bring in somebody like that? I mean,
And again, you want to talk about DEI? Like, she
jeez.
didn't earn this. She didn't earn it.
No. But I mean, look at the cabinet we have. Jesus. It's not about, I mean, we know this. We're preaching to the choir here. I mean, everybody knows that. This is not about competency. It's not about experience. It's not about who are the best people in the job. It's about who kisses the ass and licks the boots and, does all those things. And those are the people that get the favors. Those are the people who get the money. I mean, this is so off the charts dictatorship. I just wish people would wake up. Wake up. And we've talked about this before. Until it affects them, they won't. And that's really a shame. It's really a shame that people have to be that selfish, that you can't look at with compassion what's happening to people in this country and go, well, it's not happening to me. So I don't know. But yes, so go back to your question. Yes, they hired her for this reason. It's curious, and we'll see what happens to 60 Minutes, because 60 Minutes has been that high bar of unbiased, truth-telling journalism that we've all spent every Sunday night watching that show, because we knew it was going to be good, it was going to be powerful, it was going to be truthful, it was going to be all these things. Now, I don't know. We're going to get what we got Sunday night. That's what we're going to get. So that's the truth on that one, unfortunately. These are things that are so important for us to watch and keep an eye on and keep talking about. But when this is all over, I'm hoping that will change.
I hope so too.
It's up to us to make a change, right?
I also want to share another clip from this video from the Political Bear. He talks about some more of this control.
If you add up all the cities and all the households that Nexstar and Sinclair can actually broadcast to, you know how many households they can actually beam to? Together, they cover close to 90% of American television households. That's two companies controlling what 90% of Americans can see on local television. And that's a problem, especially when these companies are trying to push a very specific ideology to their audience. David Smith, executive chairman of Sinclair and son of the founder Julian Smith, has been very open about his conservative views. He has been a major donor to Republican candidates and has personally praised Donald Trump's policies. He quite literally said, "We are here to deliver your message." Sinclair owns hundreds of stations and is still refusing to play Jimmy Kimmel. This means David Smith has the ability to push a single uniform conservative message across the entire country. A great example of this is Sinclair's must-run conservative segments. One went viral in 2018. Sports news site Deadspin created a viral supercut that edited dozens of these identical broadcasts together.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Sinclair has former Trump campaign advisors develop these must-run commentary segments, which must play during local news. These must-run segments bypass local editorial control and ensure corporate-level political messaging and make sure this reaches every single viewer. And they didn't just start this with Donald Trump. In 2004, Sinclair ordered all of its stations to air a documentary that was critical of Democratic nominee John Kerry and his Vietnam War record, tipping the scales to George W. Bush. And today, stations are regularly required to air segments defending the Trump administration and his policies. This obviously affects the way people vote in national elections, but it also affects what happens locally.
I mean, he nailed it. It affects how people think. It affects what they do. It affects how they vote. It's scary.
Yeah, that's a classic clip. If you've seen it, there's one that have, I don't know how many of all these stations saying basically the same exact thing. And this is two things. I made two notes on this one. Project 2025, control the media. That is high up on the list. Control the media. They want, and Viktor Orban, right? And we've talked about Orban. This is exactly what he did when he turned Hungary from a democracy into a liberal democracy to an illiberal democracy. And then they want everybody to be a clone of Fox News. I mean, can you imagine?
No, we
And
can't. That's
yeah, but that's what they want. That's exactly what they want. And I don't know if you guys watched the interview. I don't know if you watched Diary of a CEO podcast at all. Really good. I would recommend it. He has a lot of really interesting people on. He had Kamala Harris on just a few days ago. And she talked about this because I forget the question he asked her, but she says, we have to understand that people on each side are living in they're getting different information. Not everybody's getting the same information. And this is why. This is exactly why. Because people who lean to the right are going to watch everything on the right. That's the confirmation bias of this. That's the psychology of all this. They're only going to watch what confirms their own beliefs. And then, people hopefully on the other side are watching truth and fact. And, but there might be a little bit of that confirmation bias on the other side as well. But it's like, I'd rather be on the side of truth. That's the goal. But that's what she's saying is exactly right. People are living with completely different set of information, and they're two different realities. People are living in two different realities. So this is scary. This is scary to think they want all the news organizations to be all the same, and Project 2025 is that goal. Control the media.
You know what's interesting is I watched The View today, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was a guest, much to everyone's surprise, including The View host. And she was asked about if she still believed in the QAnon theories. And she basically said that, one, she kind of really didn't answer the question. She said, I really addressed this. But what I would say is I was a victim of media lies and what did she say? Propaganda. So she basically was saying that she got hoodwinked. I don't know if I believe her or not. I don't, because she claims she hasn't changed, but this is not the Marjorie Taylor Greene that I am used to seeing. But if she is telling the truth, then she makes a really good point that the media that we consume, and to your point about the people not getting the same information, if you're just getting all kinds of like weird propaganda about things like this because you're only consuming like certain media outlets or reading certain papers or scrolling on certain social media sites, and the algorithm is pushing these things your way, then yeah, you're going to have a completely skewed view of reality.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what's happening. Exactly what's happening. What is interesting is because I am still on Facebook, and so I created our We the People, right, Facebook page. And so when I switch to that page, all I see is right-wing stuff. My feed, my main feed is all right-wing, and I'm like, what the hell? Why why is this happening? I'm not looking at right-wing stuff. I don't but this was interesting because it's a new page. And so this is what's getting pushed to me. That's scary. Not a little bit of this side, a little bit of that side, it's boom, 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 right-wing, everything all day. And so because to change that algorithm, now I'm going to have to use that page and start posting stuff. The only good thing about it is as We the People, I can respond to some of those, right?
Right.
Tell people, you guys are nuts. You're absolutely nuts. And we have to remember there's a lot of foreign influence still with all these accounts. And we have to be cognizant of that. But yeah, I agree, Andrea. The algorithm is not our friend right now.
Yeah, and Jazzy mentioned this earlier, but Larry Ellison is the CEO of Oracle. He is also now a major investor in TikTok. So what's going to happen to TikTok?
Great.
Again, he is a big Trump supporter. He is a big conservative. He's very right-leaning. Is TikTok going to be curated to go that way?
God.
Yeah.
Probably. And I'm just trying to think the ramifications of that. We have to stop this. I mean, we have to do everything in our power to get our government back. And then we have to demand some boundaries on all of this. I will say I am still proud. I haven't seen the only time I've seen OpenAI, I haven't seen them involved in any of the shenanigans as far as donating money and stuff. The only time I saw Sam, oh
Altman.
my God, Altman, thank you, was when they did that early on, where they did that kind of press conference on us investing heavily into AI. So I am happy to see that. Yeah. And Andrea, you're right. How do you stop unlimited wealth? I have, there's something that I think about a lot with these SNAP benefits, and you see a lot of people commenting, rightly so, that the problem is not that people are on these benefits. The problem is the people who are working for these multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies who still qualify for these benefits. It's like that's the root of the issue that we have to come back to. So for me, I say if you're a multi-million-dollar company, a multi-billion-dollar company, and you have employees that qualify for SNAP or qualify for Medicaid, then you should be taxed at 50% to help pay for these programs, because you cannot pay a living wage. I mean, that fixes a lot right there. It's like pay your people a living wage, or we're going to tax you at this level anyway. So you're going to pay one way or another. So you might as well pay your people. And happy employees make happy clients, make happy companies, make a lot more money. I wish companies would understand that. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic.
And I mean, it sounds so like simple, like just treat people well, the profits will come, there'll be
Right.
happy employees want to do good work, they want to work hard.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yet it seems like it's such a difficult concept for so many people in charge to accept. And we don't have enough time to get into this, but the fact that after Skydance bought Paramount, they laid off 1,000 people.
Mhm.
So there's this big billion-dollar buyout, and yet they don't have money to pay people, so they lay people off, and they're talking
they
about
do.
maybe laying off another 1,000. Meanwhile, how much is the CEO making?
Mhm.
It doesn't, like, make it make sense. Why did these
It
people need
does.
to lose their jobs?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
It
everyone who lost their jobs, I don't know all of the ins and outs, like, there may be some people where maybe there were business redundancies, so they decided those people had to get those positions were eliminated. But you can't tell me that all 2,000 people needed to lose their jobs. They also just did a bunch of layoffs at CBS, and NBC laid off a
Mhm.
bunch of people in NBC Black. So they're verticals that basically are targeted toward marginalized groups. So NBC Black, NBC Latino, NBC Out, all of those groups just gone. Does it have anything to do with our anti-DEI administration? I
It
wonder.